we find out that that woman is Kamala's real grandmother, and can we get a side by side of Kamala? If we find out that that is Kamala's real grandmother, and that she decided to appropriate the domestic help who potentially died younger as her grandmother, we are watching one of the most diabolical political moves that we have ever seen in the history of this country.
Look. I know y'all been waiting for it, man. Y'all clap it up for Candace Owens. Clap it up. Journalism at its finest. She should win the prize. Yeah, she should win it, man. I'm telling y'all, man. You know, again, no matter what you got to say, we just keeping it real here. No matter what you got to say. I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life. Salute and love to my brothers and sisters around the world, them beautiful patriots. We want our tax dollars back. We are sick and tired of the corrupt media. We're sick and tired that we have to hear identity politics over policy all the way to November 5th. It's an absolute disgrace, man. Now, I don't care if she was shaking vinegar on that chicken, or if she was found a bottle of hot sauce to shake on that chicken. We seen what Hillary did in 2016, walking around with that big bottle of hot sauce in her purse, trying to get the black vote. Yeah. You know, Barack and Big Mike walk around the corner smiling and laughing and giggling and pooting around like we don't know what's going on. We know the corruption, man, and we know how corrupt it is. And it's sad, man. You know, but Candace Owens is pulling it out the bag. You know, prayers for Candace Owens. I'm telling y'all, that lady be talking about, I'm telling y'all, she be on things, man, where people, I'm telling you, you disappear. You know, and I see why they be saying prayers for content creators like ourselves, man, that bring this stuff to the light, that expose the truth, that talk about the stuff that they want to keep hidden and covered up. You know, that they want to wipe. Salute to all my content creators out there. Salute to anybody that's been posting and sharing the videos. We appreciate you guys, man. Thank y'all for all the love and support. Man. But boy, we're on the third series of this. We got a couple more to catch, like two or three more to catch up on. Sorry I've been slacking, y'all. I know y'all been telling me to check out these the next episode, then the next episode. You know, I've heard just pulling it out the bag. So this one's titled, I Think I Found Kamala's Real Family. Oh boy. So let's go and get into it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. But you know what's going on. You know what's going on. And again, I'm not a race baiter, not a race hustler, and I don't care what the lady is. For me, it comes down to policy. For me, it comes down, is she qualified? Is she qualified? But to me, it looks like, and what it seems like, and what I've seen this, you know, especially this year, you know, not even these last 3.5, 4 years, but it seems like DEI didn't earn it. Not qualified, unqualified. And then you look at the interviews. Finally, she does an interview, but she's drunk. So, drunk entire inventory. Look, you can say DEI in multiple ways. Didn't earn it, drunk entire inventory. You know, word salads, word spaghettis. You know, same with her running mate. And you see he went out there last night and just blew it. You know, now I kind of liked that debate than any other debate, because they went up there arguing, going back and forth, trying to, you know, spew so much hatred towards one another, and they were agreeing, you know. But Tim Walz was up there. He was up there You could tell by his body language. He was out of it, man. He was panicking. He was forgetting stuff. And then when they started talking about the China, I mean, it was just a complete meltdown for that fella. And JD Vance even fact checked the moderators and just flipped the script on everybody and exposed it for what it was, man. You know, because it's corrupt. You know, the bias reporting, the fake news. You know, how they wiped this Trump and Vance ticket through the mud. And you guys see it. We've been showing you, you know, this. We've done over 1,000 videos showing it, man. You know, we've done a lot of hard work this election. You know, a lot of hard work, man. So thank y'all for all the love and support. But let's go and get into it. Let me stop all this yapping and japping. I'm sorry, y'all. I just spent 5 minutes yapping and japping away, man. But let's get into it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share the video, because this one's going to get real interesting. You might want to watch this one all the way through. We know Candace Owens is going to pull it all out. And again, prayers for Candace Owens, man. Because again, when you start talking about stuff like this and start, prayers for Trump in the comment section as well, because we don't know what to expect. You know, right now we see a lot of, Republicans and everybody were celebrating after JD Vance won the debate last night. But we don't know what to expect, man. With 30 some days to the election. And he just had 2 attempts on his life. We don't know what to expect. So prayers for Trump, please, in the comment section. Prayers for you guys and your family as well through these dark times. We want to send our prayers, love, and condolences for our hurricane victims as well, and the ones affected over there on the East Coast. Man, it's crazy right now. You know, we're living in some crazy times. We got the port strike right now. It's a lot of crazy things going on as I'm recording this video. So prayers for America, man. You know, we see the missile attacks. You know, Israel, Iran, man. It's whoo, prayers, man. Prayers. Well, let's jump in, y'all.
Well, where should we begin? You guys have heard of whitewashing history, but have you heard of blackwashing? Blackwashing is when you're a politician and it's election season and suddenly you have to relate to black people. So you just sort of start making stuff up to blackify yourself, your history. You start dropping a bunch of slang and colloquialisms and hoping that the people will therefore understand you.
You better thank you, union member. You better thank you. You better thank you. Then they got her in the next one. We must thank our union members. Yeah, man. And we're gonna do it in 2025. 2025. Then the next one, she's talking. They got Senorita Kamala Harris. She gets a new accent she goes west, she goes down south, down north, down east. Boy, you just can't make it up, man. Y'all know Hillary, but Hillary, I got to give it to her. Hillary, hands behind your back. She had a bottle of hot sauce in her purse in 2016. She campaigned with hot sauce in her purse. Put a watermelon on her head next. Unbelievable. They probably would have did way better with Hillary on the ticket, I believe, because this Harris Walls ticket might be one of the worst tickets we've ever seen and there ever will be. Just saying.
Honestly, it's become something of a Democratic rite of passage. Except this time, I think we may have caught the culprit red-handed. Of course, I'm speaking about Kamala Harris. I think her and her campaign team are really going to regret the day that their media henchmen came for Janet Jackson. Welcome back to Candace.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Candace, man. Y'all know this all was this really became like when they came for Janet Jackson. And y'all know how we feel about Janet. And y'all know we got tons of music reactions to Janet Jackson on the channel. You know, a black woman for the culture that actually, you know what I'm saying, that gave us, history, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all gotta put some respect on Janet Jackson's name. I'm telling you, what's the name used to pull Joe used to pull out that belt. That's how I was raised. Well, that's how we knew right from wrong. That's how we had common sense. That belt, that switch, it came out. Sometimes they pull out a stick. Yeah. Wow. Yes, son, you about to respect your elderly. You about to respect women. You better not put your hands on a woman. Go to school and get good grades. You better not talk back. Right from wrong. Oh, you don't want to do the dishes? Yeah. That's how we was raised. Sorry, I know y'all don't want to hear it, and I know some of y'all don't like to be, get there with your kids now, especially in the times that we live in now. But I'm just saying, that's how we was raised. That's how we came up. And I know that's how Joe used to pull that belt out on Lil Michael and all of them. Yeah, that's why the Jackson 5 and Lil Michael Jackson, I'm telling you. Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm literally buzzing with excitement right now for what we just discovered. Obviously, we're running a little bit late today, but as I said, it will be well worth the wait. So yesterday, we were getting closer and closer, asking questions, obviously, about Kamala's genealogy. If you need to go back, you can do that. Begin with episode 70 and work your way forward to see how this mystery has unfolded. So we were left with some major holes in Kamala's genealogy. We had from her father, Donald J. Harris, that he grew up in Jamaica and was raised by his grandmother, Miss Iris. He effectively wrote an entire piece about his Jamaican heritage and really focused on his grandmother, like she is the person that made the most difference for him. He honorably mentioned Miss Iris's husband, who he only referred to as Mr. Christie, and remained conspicuously silent about his own mother. How do you do that? How do you just say one sentence about your mother, refer to her as Miss Beryl? And I want to be clear, you're writing this for the population, right? You're talking about your heritage. Even if you called your mother Miss Beryl, you would probably, for the sake of wanting people to be clear on who you're referring to, list her full name. He didn't do that. He just said one sentence. This is not to, ignore my mother, Miss Beryl. And that was it. And we know that her full name, according to her birth certificate, is Beryl Magdalene Finnegan. And we know that at various times she took on the middle name Christie. He also mentioned in that piece that his father was Mass Oscar. I guess, again, that is kind of a slang way of referring to his father. But I was completely stumped. I was completely stumped as I was looking further into this because I could not find a marriage record between his father, Oscar Joseph Harris, Miss Oscar, and his mother, Beryl Finnegan. Like, this is something that to me seemed really odd. And some people who wanted to rationalize it were saying, oh, no, that's just how things were. And sometimes people didn't have record. No, I wasn't buying any of that because we were dealing with a family that had money. It is just a fact that Kamala Harris's family descends from slavers. They were given money for their slaves. Somebody did the calculation, essentially, for that day and time, it would have been $11 million that they inherited for their slaves once it was abolished. It is why when he speaks about his Jamaican heritage, he speaks about them as having owned stores, right? So this is not your typical Black story that we're referring to here. And so I expected very much for there to be a record of marriage. Oddly, as you guys will recall, any records that I did find suggested to me that Beryl may have been the domestic help, who may have also given birth to a son named Donald, born in 1938, who died before he even turned 2. So that was very strange. Question marks. We were like, okay.
It's all very strange. And we see it.
Hey, we're seeing this Beryl. We're seeing this Donald Harris. We're seeing that an infant died. What's really going on here? Why is it starting to feel like a scary movie? But of course, we want to rationalize it ourselves. Like maybe it is just a coincidence that another Beryl had another Donald in 1938 in St. Aaron Parish, and we shouldn't look too far into that. What we knew for certain was that Beryl, the correct Beryl, was married at the age of 25. So Donald Harris, who was presenting as Kamala's father, would have been 6 years old. She got married to a man named Lawford Newland, who he has completely erased from his childhood historical account. When he wrote this piece, he did not mention a Lawford Newland, a stepdaddy named Lawford Newland. And that was odd because then it would suggest that she would have had to have married his father, Oscar Joseph Harris, after that. So have the kid, marry someone else, and then go back and marry your baby daddy. I don't know, but I needed to find some records. And we also couldn't find a divorce record, by the way, between Lawford Newland and Beryl Finnegan. Where's the divorce record? We did see that he went to America. We searched there. He went through New Orleans. We went through California. We just could not find anything. And in my view, there were too many holes in his account. Numbers that he got wrong about the siblings. I just felt that there was a secret here. So I decided that we needed more information specifically about Donald J. Harris himself. And
now I'm gonna just say this. I know because I know a lot of y'all been saying the same thing, and I seen it in the comments, and then one of our last video had like one of the comments had over thousands of likes. But isn't it actually weird, like that his name is Donald J? It's just crazy how things you put things together and you put opponents against each other, and you see this and that, and things line up with the same name. It's just weird. I don't know. Just one of those weird ones, it might not be a coincidence, but just weird. I know a lot of y'all feel like, man, like, is that fella name really Donald J? Donald J. Oh, Donald.
We couldn't find a birth certificate for him, which I flagged as odd. And I also wanted to find that marriage certificate between his father, Oscar J. Harris, and his mother, Beryl Finnegan. That was crucial to me. So here's what we stumbled upon. More information about Donald J. Harris appeared to us. This is going to get crazy, you guys. I'll tell you how we put this together. Through old Jamaican newspaper clippings that have been digitized. So first and foremost, this one fact checks, but it was a little bit of tidbit of an information that I thought was interesting. It was a wedding announcement that was published in the Kingston Gleaner. That's the name of the newspaper. It was published, as you can see here, November 1st, 1963, which just announces the wedding of presumably Kamala's mother, as we're told, Shyamala Gopalin, to Donald J. Harris. It reads, he is the son of Oscar J. Harris of Spanish Town and Mrs. Beryl Finnegan. Okay. It writes it says before leaving Jamaica in and can you pull that up? Because I couldn't read it for clarity. But it says before leaving Jamaica it looks like maybe I don't want to guess it. Mr. Harris worked for the Jamaican Information Service. Okay, what is the Jamaican Information Service? That's what I asked myself. What is that? I'll tell you what it is. The Jamaican Information Service is an executive agency of the government of Jamaica that is responsible for disseminating information. It used to be known as the Government Public Relations Office. It says that to achieve its objectives, the agency utilizes a broad range of media skill sets: print, radio, television, graphic arts, video projection, and public relations. It was established in 1956. Okay, so now we know that before he left Jamaica, he worked for the government. So he's got some connections in government. And he's not the only one, because that newspaper article goes on to inform us that his bride, who we're told is Kamala's mother, is the daughter of Mr. P.V. Gopalin, the Deputy Secretary of the Government of India. So she is also connected to the government of India, and her dad is the Deputy Secretary of the Government of India. That's just a thing that I think is important to know, that these two people worked for the government and they came together and they got married. Now, we still could not find a marriage record between these two, but it may be plausible that they got married somewhere else, but at least we see the announcement. So I thought, now let's focus on his father, right? I'm looking for something to attach Oscar to Beryl, presumably, if this is a family that is important enough to have wedding announcements in the newspaper. Maybe we will be able to stumble upon something between Oscar and Beryl. Now, I want to remind you that Kamala brought up Oscar J. Harris, her grandfather, in her book, and she reveals a picture of him on page 282. So I'm going to show you that right now. It reads, "When I was 10 months old, I visited Spanish Town, Jamaica. This is me with my mother and my paternal grandfather, Oscar Joseph." So we know his name is Oscar Joseph Harris, and we know that that's what he looks like thanks to Kamala Harris's book. Great, love that. So I looked him up, and at first the father came up for a bankruptcy hearing announcement. This is dated, by the way, March 11th, 1939. So this would have been 1 year after Donald was allegedly born. It just reads, in the matter of bankruptcy petition against Reginald Victor Harris, Oscar Joseph Harris, and Newton Alexander Harris of Brownstown in the parish of St. Anne, trading as Harris Bros, take notice that the above named intend to apply for the revocation of the provisional order of bankruptcy made against them in this honorable court on the 6th day of January 1939. Okay, so we know that they were apparently going through some bankruptcy proceedings, and they were fighting those bankruptcy proceedings. They were going to stand against them. But what's relevant there is that we know it's him because it lists his brothers. It lists that they're from Browntown, and we have fact-checked that genealogy. So this is the correct family. This is the grandfather that Kamala is referring to in her book. Here is where it is going to get crazy. Buckle up. I really hope you guys are sitting for this. He came up again.
Uh-oh.
And fortunately, it was for a wedding. Unfortunately, it was not for a wedding to Beryl. Instead, just like Beryl married somebody else, apparently he married somebody else. Now, this clipping is from June 9th, 1952. Look at this. It says, Oscar Harris weds Vioris Cambridge. Now I want you to look at this photo, and it certainly looks like, and I know it's a shadow on the left-hand side, but I'm going, that looks like the picture, you can tell by that balding pattern, of the person that Kamala has presented to us as her grandfather. And he looks mixed race to me, but that woman on the right looks white to me. Now I know you're going, Candace, that's crazy. It's a black and white photo, but you know, there's a certain way when you're photographing a black woman that she comes across, and that ain't it, my friends.
Oh boy.
But again, that was a theory. Let's read the article. It reads, Vioris Cambridge, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. V.S. Cambridge of St. Elizabeth, that's another parish in Jamaica, became the bride of Oscar Harris of Browntown, St. Anne, at a beautiful ceremony in the St. Andrew Parish Church, Halfway Tree, on Thursday last night. Her slenderness enhanced by a gown of white nylon and chantilly lace. The bride, carrying a bouquet of white asters, was given in marriage by her father. Her only attendant, her sister, Carmen Cambridge, wore a gown of aqua nylon and chantilly lace with a bouquet of pink rosebuds. The best man in the ceremony, performed by the Reverend Grant Levi of Montego Bay, was Mr. Newton Harris, brother of the groom. During the signing of the register, Mr. Gene McDonald sang, I'll Walk Beside You, and Because, at a reception held at the home of the bride's uncle on Chester Avenue, Mr. Milton Hamilton was master of ceremonies. I just went, what the heck is this?
Oh boy.
First and foremost, how odd that Donald J. Harris, as he's recollecting these memories from his childhood, now has left out the part where Beryl married someone when he would have been 6 years old and would have been his stepfather. But he's also now leaving out the fact that his mother similarly married someone when he was a little bit older. I mean, that his father similarly married someone when he was a little bit older, and that woman, at least according to my eyes, appears to me to be fully Caucasian. But I said, that sounds crazy. Let me see if I can find this woman, Vioris Cambridge, by a quick Google search. Like, where? That's quite a different name, Vioris. I've never heard it before. Certainly something's going to pop up, and certainly just one thing did. And it was a funeral entry of a white woman who died in Broward County. And what I noticed about this entry was that it was very scant on details. I'm going to show this to you. Okay? Vioris Anita McPherson, it says. And I'm looking at that face on the left there, and I'm going, I recognize that face. This woman looks familiar to me. Am I crazy? Are you guys seeing this? She looks a little bit like Kamala Harris. There's something about the smirk. I don't know. Am I crazy? So I said, let me not jump to conclusions. Maybe I am just so down far the rabbit hole that I'm seeing Kamala's face. So I read this entry, and it says, it is with great sadness that the family of Vioris Anita Harris McPherson Cambridge, in parentheses, so we know that that's her maiden name right there, announces her passing on Saturday, June 15th, 2019. She will be lovingly remembered by her children and spouses, her grandchildren, and
1927 to 2019. That is an amazing life, man. Wow. What a life. What a life, man.
spouses, her great-grandchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews, and friends. We will celebrate her life on Saturday, June 29th, 2019 at 10 o'clock a.m. at Christ the Rock Community Church. It gives the address there, and it says where they will immediately follow at a reception hall. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to the Alzheimer's Foundation in memory of Vioris Harris McPherson. So nothing given to us there, literally nothing given to us about our family. Have you ever seen that? Usually survived by a sister, a cousin, a brother. I went to see if anybody posted anything. It says she had
weird. Yeah. Talk about weird and suspicious. Oh boy. Again, huge salute and shout out to Candace Owens, man. You know, and she's made every headline. She has went viral every single day. What do y'all think of all this, man? I know we're all kind of on the same page, you know. But again, it's a disgrace, man, that we have to hear identity politics all the way to November 5th. That you have to run on, all you can run on is woman and black woman president, or in joy, hope, pride, you know. You care less about the, your policies. Vote for me because I'm a black woman. But before that, you were, praising first Indian senator, all that stuff, But when it comes around to an election, I'm black. And again, y'all don't care if she is black or not, like I told y'all. But let's be real here, man. We've already seen that she's not qualified. And the record of this last 3.5, 4 years doesn't make anything any better. As Biden is as sharp as a tack. That's what she said, as sharp as a tack. A cheap fake, a deep fake.
She has a really big family. I was like, okay, well, certainly somebody would have posted on the board. People do that all the time. I'm so sorry for your loss. Love you. Cousin, I'll see you there. Hug, kisses, nothing.
They think we're stupid. And it pisses me off. They think we the people are stupid, but we know what's going on, man. And it's even more corrupt and I'm telling y'all, when you go back, way back, when you go back to other presidencies, when you go back to other, it's way more corrupt. And stuff that they didn't threw under the rug.
Very weird. I then tried to look this woman up in Broward County records, and it just looks like people are trying to protect who she was. It doesn't tell me who she's married. I don't see anything there in Broward County. It just says an entry for a marriage that took place in 1994. And I also see that she's got another name there, McPherson, so maybe she got remarried. But it at least tells us that her birthday was October 7th, 1927. So I thought to myself, can I find a white woman who was born in Jamaica with that exact birth date, with that exact name? It's, like I said, a very different name, Vioris. And the answer is yes, we did. We were able to locate her birth certificate. And now we know why it said that she was married to V.S. Cambridge. It had listed her father as V.S. Cambridge, Mr. and Mrs. V.S. Cambridge. That's because her father's name is Vivian. Her mother's name is Adina Wright. And here you have it, born in Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth is... here she is. This is this woman, Vioris Cambridge. born to Vivian Cambridge and Adina Wright on October 7th, 1927 in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. What the hell is going on? Who is this woman? Why hasn't this been mentioned? Why does it feel like this profile was being very hidden? And again, as Donald was jumping in to his family background and speaking about how Jamaican it was, why didn't he mention this? Why didn't he mention this woman, his white relatives? It might be relevant when we're having a discussion about Kamala's race to mention the fact that your dad married a white woman. I'm just saying, here's another picture of her. And there's something familiar about her smile. There's something familiar. I'm looking at this woman, I'm going, this woman looks to me like Kamala Harris. Now, something even weirder, the person who did create something for her online, okay, who created a profile for her on Ancestry.com, look what he put in the middle of her name. He lists her name as Vioris Anita Iris Cambridge. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So we looked into this briefly. And again, all of this has transpired within the last 4 hours. So we are not as organized about this, or I shouldn't say, we are not as certain about this, but it looks like the person who made this entry was a member of her extended family. It looks like she got remarried in 1994 in America and that's where she picks up the name McPherson. And that individual put Iris in quotation marks. Is it possible that Donald J. Harris, when he's fondly remembering Miss Iris, could be speaking about this woman? Yeah, it's possible. Everything's a possibility. Like I said, he's very scant on the details here. What we do know is that he declined to mention this woman. He declined to mention someone that his father married who was completely white. And as I said, I wouldn't have an issue with this if people were forthcoming and spoke about this. The press, as you're out there referring to Janet Jackson as crazy, right, for suggesting, what did Janet Jackson say? She said that she heard that Kamala's father, Donald J. Harris, was Irish. Can somebody pull up that picture of yours again? She heard that his family was Irish. I think maybe Vioris.
You know how them pictures do it.
Might be Irish. Was she so crazy to mention that, press? Would it be so crazy if you guys did your actual job and looked into these things as opposed to constantly trying to obscure things to protect your preferred candidates because you believe she should just be handed this? Now the question is it possible that the woman that we're looking at right there is Kamala's grandmother? Is it possible, based on the records that we have, that Beryl and Donald never did marry? Is it possible Beryl and Oscar, never did marry? Is it possible, is it feasible that that marriage never took place and they both married two different people, and that instead at some point when they decided to blackify Kamala's history, they included this Beryl as her grandmother? Is it possible? I don't want to go too far down conspiracy lane, but I'm telling you that we're close here.
Close.
This is a big missing piece of her family history that should have been mentioned, okay? And I find it highly suspicious. I do not think that we have answers still on who Donald Harris is. I do not trust him. I do not trust him just having discovered this information and realizing that he left out two significant marriages and is instead focusing on Kamala's great-grandmother, referring to her as Miss Iris. Who is Miss Iris actually? I can tell you that, again, we came across all of this in the last few hours, but we're going to stay on them because now that we have found this piece and we have found this white woman, and again, I'm not trying to call her out for being a white woman, I'm just saying that, like, she is a white woman. She's very white. And Janet Jackson was not crazy to suggest this. And now we know that somebody is putting her in quotation marks as Iris, and a picture is starting to come together. Let me say this. If, and I'm not saying this is true, but if we find out that that woman is Kamala's real grandmother, and can we get a side-by-side of Kamala? If we find out
Is that what I think it is?
That is Kamala's real grandmother, and that she decided to appropriate the domestic help who potentially died younger as her grandmother. We are watching one of the most diabolical political moves that we have ever seen in the history of this country.
Wow.
I just want to say that. I'm not saying it's true, again, but I'm saying that I don't like the picture. I always find that the dog that isn't barking, the fact that they never mentioned these marriages, the fact that they laughed people out of the room when they suggested that Kamala Harris could be white, and the fact that they just refused to mention any aspect of this and are remaining hush-hush on it, doesn't make me feel good. I don't trust these people. There's something about Kamala saying she's in these streets that doesn't make me feel that she's being honest about who she actually is. And I'm not going to let go of this. Again, we are getting closer and closer, and I will bet you the DNC is paying attention to this show now. Whew. All right, guys, before we cover some other stories, I want to remind you about Preborn, Kamala of evidence, a trove of blackmail, rather. Again, these are just allegations, but there's a lot of credence to these claims, it seems to me at least, on politicians. They keep saying politicians. That's important to note that. They're saying musicians, they're saying record executives, they're saying other artists, and they're saying politicians are on these tapes. So now what we're doing is people are going backwards and they're recognizing that, wait a minute. There were other people who were signaling to us that something was very wrong with Diddy, and they were virtually.
Yeah, so she moved on. But man, wow, what an episode. Yeah, she talking about Diddy. Diddy, put that baby oil down, boy. Why won't you got all that baby off? Oh, boy, you sticking it in there, boy. You sticking in that thing, you know. That fella. Oh. Is that three men in there, in that room in there with baby oil? Is that Diddy? Yeah, let's go and get up out of here. Yeah, we walked into the wrong house. But man, wow. What an eye-opening episode, man. We're gonna make sure we throw that in the intro. Wow. That picture side by side. Huge shout out to Candace Owens, man. And huge shout out to you guys that have been on my butt, Rick. Please bring light to this, react to it, upload it so more people can see it. Man, I'm telling you, you guys have been such, man, I can't tell y'all how much I really appreciate you guys, man. And opening my eyes and showing me, you know, you guys really have shown me a lot, man. This past year, again, I never know we would get this far, you know, and just learning and taking it all in, you know, of how corrupt the system is, man. This corrupt scam of a matrix, man. You know, how they think we're stupid, the lies, the failures, you know, and a lot of people still don't know what's going on. You know, they clap for the system that's, you know, totally against them, the system that's killing them. You know, and when Trump calls out the system for what it is, and you know, knew how corrupt it is, he was a threat to democracy. He's the dictator. He's the racist. But then when you really look at the history, when you really look at the timestamps, is he really racist? Is he really a dictator? Is he really Hitler? Is he really a threat to democracy? He was going to destroy America. He would have did on his first term. They want to give this candidate handouts. She doesn't have to answer questions. She doesn't have to tell you a plan. So let's make her the first black woman president. What? She isn't Joe Biden. Matter of fact, she might not even she's not his VP. What? Repeats the same thing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on the weekends. a middle class. I was a prosecutor. But then we wipe people in the mud when they start calling out the truth. When an actual black woman or somebody, an actual person, of the culture says, wait, I don't think she's black. We wiped them through the mud. Because she heard, I don't think she's black. It's crap, man. And again, y'all, I'm not a race baiter. I'm not a race hustler. As a black man, I know what comes with it. And I know that's why, tons of people reside with me on this channel. Because they say that black brother there, I relate to him. He speaks my language. And it's one love to the human race. One love to the human race. That's what I believe in. Simple. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't see color. We all live in this fast time travel, man, that most people don't understand how fast it is. And that we need to come together in these times, man. God is love. And I've been preaching that on every single video, on every music reaction, on every sport reaction, before I got into the politics side and, the dirty game of this stuff, man. And that's why I'm so confident in this, man. Win or lose. If Trump wins or lose, man, I'm confident. And even after this, we're still going to be calling this crap out. And there's a lot of things that I do want to say on camera, but I can't say. I don't want to get in, censorship is real. A lot of things that we, us creators that really, really want to say, we can't. We can't get on here just, we can in a way, as you can see, but we can't really, do what we really, 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 really want to get, But we know the corruption, man. It's corrupt. And millions are struggling and dying, man. And it breaks my heart. And what they've allowed to take place, man, and play in our face. And then come back and say, well, you guys were wrong. This isn't what you guys are saying isn't happening. What? We're living in the reality. But huge shout out to Candace Owens, man. I can't wait to get this thing out there, man. We're gonna jump into episode 74 in our next 2 videos. So make sure you come by and check it out. Huge shout out to Candace Owens. Prayers for Candace Owens, man. Love. If Candace Owens runs across this video, got love for you, sister, and wishing the best for you and your family. Blessings to you and your family. Prayers for Trump as well, because we don't know what to expect next, man. It's just corrupt, man. Prayers for Trump, his team, his campaign. Huge win for us last night. JD Vance on that stage, and we're gonna keep this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. It is the 2nd, and we're rocking and rolling, man. Prayers for October. We do not know what to expect, but hey, I love y'all, and I will catch you beautiful people in the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.